Here's another response to the Divorcee Sam Seder, and it's an analysis he will not give you of the Michigan election. If you take all the counties in Michigan that voted 60% or more for Gretchen Whitmer in the 2022 Michigan Gubernatorial election, those counties had a homicide rate in 2020 and 2021 of 10.893 per 100,000, well above the Michigan average, well above the national average, and well above the counties that voted 60% or more for Tudor-Dixon. Those counties had a homicide rate, and I've got them all listed. I'll have it in the transcript there. Those counties had a homicide rate of 1.626 per 100,000. I've got all the population data too, so you can look that up. So he probably won't talk to you about that. Those counties that voted overwhelmingly for Whitmer, they have a homicide rate that is stratospheric. They had 880 homicides, 10.893 per 100,000. That's 6.5 times the rate of the very pro-GOP counties. Joe Biden, show me your voters. Show me the counties that your party has dominated for decades, and I will show you who you are. Your lot is a violent, sadistic, selfish, slothful group that blames everyone else for your failures. People like Rashida Tlaib have been getting elected in Detroit for over half a century. Wonder why nothing changes. The homicide rate fluctuates a bit, but nothing else changes. In 2020 and 2021 in Michigan, there were 716 arrests for murder/non-negligent manslaughter, where the race of the arrestee was known. Of those 716, 536 or 74.8%, 74.86% of the arrestees were black. Michigan is only 14.1% black. But don't forget, Black Lives Matter. In 2020 and 2021, of the 1,492 murder victims in the Wolverine state, where the race of the victim was known, 72.18% or 1,077 of those victims were black. Much of that is Oakland and Wayne counties. Don't forget, Black Lives Matter. Lots of black-on-black violence in Democrat strongholds like Pontiac, Flint, and Detroit. And here's some of my previous info. Again, see the links in the video description. Keep beating this drum. Michigan counties that were 60% or more for Donald Trump in 2016 and 2020. From 2018 to 2020, those counties had a homicide rate of 1.618 per 100,000. Notice the difference from the uber Democrat areas of Michigan versus the uber Republican areas. Here's some other info. 37 of Michigan's 83 counties had 0 murders in 2021. That's 37 of 83, 44.57%. In 2020, 42 of Michigan's 83 counties, or 50.6%, had no homicides, and that was almost 14% of the state population. And in 2020, Donald Trump won 32 of those 42 counties, or 76.19% of them, with 60% or more of the vote in 2020. And one last thing, 39 of Michigan's 83 counties, 46.98%, had 0 homicides in 2016, and an additional 20 counties had 1 homicide. So you can see again, Michigan has a high homicide rate. It tracks above the national average, has for some time, well above it actually. So the problem areas in Michigan, it's not over me. I can just autistically repeat, oh, Michigan, they got a high homicide rate. They voted for Joe Biden, and just autistically repeat they voted for Gretchen Whitmer too. No, in any given year, over half of Michigan's counties have less than 2 homicides. The vast majority of the problems are Oakland and Wayne County, and then the county that Flint's in didn't actually vote 60% for Whitmer, so I didn't include them. Genesee, if I'm pronouncing that right, can't remember, but the county that Flint is in is also a huge problem county. So it's 3 or 4 counties that are the big problems in Michigan. It's not 60 or 70 of the 83 counties, and it's not the rural white counties. It's areas where you have a lot of fatherless black children. So Sam Seder, what's the root cause, to quote your overweight vice president, what's the root cause of black-on-black homicide? Well, a lot of them don't grow up with daddy. And then if you look at the performance of blacks in Michigan's public schools, which is exactly what you want because it creates more dysfunctional people that will vote for you. That's the root cause of it, and that's why Detroit, Flint, Pontiac, etc. have had been a train wreck for decades and decades. And of course, you don't want to change that because they keep voting for you. So even at the expense of lots of dead bodies and lots of people who have no future, as long as your party wins in Michigan, you're okay with it. And Democrats have been running those cities for a long time. So I'll close. Stan Seder, show me your voters and I'll show you who you are. And of course, I could tell you, Stan, to go down and teach those, what do I call them? Can I call them hood rats? Might as well. In Flint, Pontiac, and Detroit, teach them how to cultivate a good marriage. But you yourself have never had a successful marriage, so I won't ask you to do that. Maybe you could go down there and teach them how to use a condom, or maybe get married before they have the kids. Have a nice day, and don't thank me now.